The story of how I became a wrestling fan.
I've been a wrestling fan for as long as I can remember. It's always been a part of my life. A lot of people don't really associate girls with being wrestling fans, especially at a young age, especially a girl that's known for playing with Barbies and singing to Britney Spears and the Backstreet Boys. Something you wouldn't expect is for that girl to turn out to be a big wrestling fan. So every time I would tell people that I was a fan, they were always very shocked and people thought that I would grow out of it, but I never did. People always ask me questions like, but why? And why? And why do you watch wrestling? And it was from both men, women, adults, even like younger people would always like tease me about it at school. And I was just, but no matter what, it was just always something that stayed consistent in my life, something that I always had interest in. So here's how I became a wrestling fan.
Wrestling was always part of my life because my uncle was always a big fan. I remember watching him watch it on TV. This was how I learned about Stone Cold and giving the middle finger. But it wasn't until my uncle getting his first job that ended up changing my life. Before the days of DVR, we had VCRs and VHSs. If you wanted to watch one of your favorite shows but be elsewhere, you had to record them. So when my uncle could no longer stay home and watch Raw because of work, I, the kid with no life, was taught how to record. I was in elementary school.
I remember learning how to turn on the VCR, pressing record, pausing it when it was the commercials, and pressing record again. Sometimes I would forget because I was forgetting that I had to stand back up and press record when the show got started. So you can say this was my first job, and sometimes I wasn't that great at it, but I think for the most part I did okay.
I sat there watching every week until I suddenly became interested in the show. I remember my favorite wrestler automatically became Chris Jericho. I used to think every single thing was real. I even thought the wrestlers fought backstage and that they were in real life who they were on TV.
After that, I was hooked. And I remember my mom not being so happy about it because on Mondays, Raw started at 9 p.m. for me and didn't finish till past 11 p.m. That's a school night. So my mom would come into the room and be like, Denise, you gotta go to sleep now. Like, that's it, you gotta go to sleep. But there'd still be like a good 40 minutes left on the show. And I'd be like, Mom, no. And she'd be like, yes, Denise, you have to go to bed. So I would say, okay, yeah, right now. And then I would go in the commercials because she would drag me out. I would lay in the bed, and just when I thought that enough minutes went by and my mom was probably asleep, I would sneak out of the bed and go back into my uncle's room and watch Raw. And then she would come back and be like, Denise, I mean it, come back out. And I don't even know how I did it. I think that eventually she just kind of got over it, and eventually I was able to stay and finish the entire show. I got yelled at a lot, but it was fine. It was worth it.
And then my uncle started taking me to shows. My first show was an indie wrestling event, UPW. They ran a show in Anaheim. I remember being excited because Edge and Christian were there.
I remember that I had a WWE magazine collection. I had a binder where I kept track of the matches that were coming up for the pay-per-views and just like silly little notes and stuff like that. But it was just something that I genuinely enjoyed doing.
But right after that, I started going to Raws, SmackDowns, pay-per-views, and then lo and behold, my first WrestleMania. And from the start, I just kept following it, kept going to shows, kept being a fan.
All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this story time. If you want more story times, please let me know in the comment section below. Also, share with me your story on how you started watching wrestling. What made you become a fan? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you did like this story, please hit that like button on this video. It really, really helps me out and hopefully helps with YouTube recommending my channel to other people and therefore growing and therefore helping me get more money because girls need to eat, okay? So yeah, do that, and then also subscribe. Please join my family. I post lots of random videos on here. I'm trying different stuff every week, so you never know what's gonna happen on here. So subscribe. Don't be left out, because then you're gonna have FOMO, and nobody likes FOMO. All right. Okay, I am just like all over the place today. All right. If you also want to chat with me more about this or anything else, hit me up as always on Twitter and on Instagram @_Denise Salcedo. Till next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.